How did you just pop up on my screen? I'm live right now. I'm saying that. Anyway, hey guys, welcome back. Steve just tricked me somehow, popped up on my screen. I don't know how he did it, but it was cool. And then he was gone. All right, so pick up where we left off. So last session started out with, let's see, Kovanen and Zazie were finishing up at the library. They got their stories together, came over to the Mons first. Voss, I'll refer to him as, and no one at the Mons knows Voss is Kovanen. Even Kovanen doesn't know Voss is Kovanen. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Okay. Even Kovanen doesn't know Voss is Kovanen. That makes no fucking sense. So only the lady knows. All right. Aaron later shows up. Aaron Westcott, very cool name, to be the new assistant for the lady maid of the house, or the lady head of the house, the lady butler, whatever. Mrs. Crow, Ms. Crow. Anyway,
Ms. Crow.
Ms. Crow. She meets her. They get, they kick it off. A couple people ask Aaron to make a few drinks while they are talking about, some academic, artistic things, and Aaron helps. Meanwhile, Voss is in attendance as well, talking to Kovanen. I will now refer to Delicious Waffles' character as Voss until I tell you otherwise. They hung out for a while, got a little weird, not super intense, but actually probably a little less intense and less eventful than they may have anticipated, or maybe not. Flash over to Lucian. Lucian and Rose and that crew has kind of arrived. They pop into the Chalice Center. Zamra is taking care of some things with the baby and getting all of the necessaries in order. She's got a staff for that kind of stuff. Lucian's like, well, you know what? While we're back, I'd love to have access to my Magicycle, or both of them, but at least one. So I'm going to head back to the Mons. And Rose is like, oh, that's cool. I need to go that way as well. I'm going to the archives. Lucky's there, and I want to say hello. And just check on the order of things as well. There's a few things I've been meaning to investigate. So they walk there, and, essentially the grounds of the Mons, back up to the back of the archives. Convenient. And then they, take their separate paths. Rose goes into the archives, sees that Felt, the Esquire who has helped them through some of their legal problems thus far, Lucky, her primary love interest, and Duran, somewhat of a colleague to her. I guess he is the Rose to Gramash, who was the gatekeeper you guys met in Zarashak. But after Grimvor's unfortunate demise, Duran has been sent here to be the primary gatekeeper, while Rose is saving the world. So they have a bit of discussion. Lucky goes back to the Chalice Center to wait for Rose there and kind of set things up and, give her an opportunity to talk to Duran about business. They cover some business with Duran. She asks him a couple questions about some topics he wasn't really knowledgeable on, but says he'll take a peek into it. Felt goes off to wherever the hell he went. And that's about where the session wrapped up. Is that right?
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm gonna back out and basically flip and start over where we started last time. In the Mons. Lucian, I'm just going to throw this out there. If for any reason you're going to kind of show up while this is going on, totally okay with me. I'm sure it's okay with everybody else. Everybody already knows you're heading over there. Go ahead and drop us in like a little bit of a note in the text. Say, hey, somewhere in this conversation, I'm going to be knocking on the door, and go ahead and do a mic knock, and then we'll initiate that. Or, from the inside, everybody just say, hey, everybody roll perception check. And then they'll see if they can tell or not if you broke in and are stealing your own Magicycle. So I'll leave that up to you.
Do I have to break in to take my own shit?
I mean, it's going to be locked up. So if you want it and you don't want to go to the house first and you just want to be a dipshit, you can always do that. Rose, if for some reason, you decide that you want to stop at the Mons before you go back to the Chalice Center, obviously that would be in order a time after that. So let us know, as well, if that's something you plan on doing. Otherwise, we can cue that in as we kind of flip through the scenes. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. Let me go to the Mons. All right. We are in Relgare Mons, a well-appointed 3-story mansion. 2-story? 2-story mansion in the city of Fairhaven. Currently, in the parlor, this actually isn't the parlor, it's the art room. Some discussions are being had about the academic nature of painting and so on, discussing some of the things about Kovanen's picture, and there was a debate that got a bit heated for a moment, and things have been a bit cool since then. Conversations have tapered off a bit. But we'll open up with Erin.
Oh, she's just in the kitchen. She's let Miss Crow know that, hey, my presence has been requested in the music room for a little bit once they move there. So I'll go help out there. Before that happens, before I am whisked away, is there anything more you need me to get done right now?
She's just kind of cleaning up after everything so far this evening. No, I think that they'd probably be a bit... let me know if they get hungry again. We can put together maybe one more plate or two for them. I will be making my way to bed here soon, so it'll be up to you for the rest of the evening if they need anything. Was there anything in particular that I could do for you before I head out? Do you feel comfortable with something like this? I assume based upon your experience.
Yeah.
I could give you a quick walk of the kitchens if you like. It's pretty small. Obviously you have the preparation area, and she points over here, and we have ovens, which the ovens will be going off. You'll have access to the cooktop where you can either use the deep fryer or one of the open ranges. Back there is the cold pantry. There's going to be anything that would be stored cold in there, and then obviously we have the cauldron and the open flame, which are out right now. So basically for the evening, something grilled or fried or cold would probably be the best for preparations. Does that about cover it for you?
Almost. Is there a like coffee maker and coffee in here? And where is alcohol kept?
Sure. So as far as coffee goes, typically we just will boil some water and do a pour over. The coffee is in the dry pantry. She points back over to the outside of where the cold pantry is. So it's this area. There are some coffee grounds, and she points over to a sack, like a burlap sack that's like rolled up. Nothing exotic or fancy, you can, but you can grind them down. There's a coffee grinder over there on the preparation station. And the alcohol outside of what we use for cooking is all going to be inside of the parlor. And obviously we keep some things in here for simple drinks. We have a few clear and brown liquors, but most of the cordials and more professional style mixers you'll find in the parlor. There's a small dry bar in
She'll nod along, pretending to be engaged in the subject because she already knows all this shit.
there. All right. So, if there's nothing else that I can do for you, I will be taking my leave for the evening.
Have a good night's sleep.
All right. And if you need anything, my room is the one at the farthest back left-hand corner of the servants' quarters. If you go all the way back through this door right here, she points to this one, there is a door that leads out to a hallway that wraps around to the exit to outside. I know that's not the best explanation, but you walk through this door, you take one right, you take a left, you take another left, you follow it to the end, and it's the last door on the right before the outside door.
Okay, that makes sense.
If you can't find me, just knock on
I'll figure
doors.
something out.
Knock on doors until you do. No one else will be here sleeping.
She nods, she gives Miss Crow a curtsy as she leaves, and then she's gonna go real quick, check out the parlor, the music room, see if they've moved anything around, like look for secret weapons hidden places, and do a
Ooh.
little bit of surface cleaning.
Very cool. All right, so as you walk in, on the right, obviously, is the grand piano. On your left, there's a small dry bar. There are a few different mixing things there. There are some cordials. There's a couple different whiskeys. Vodka, gin, so on. Pretty basic, but some nice choices to make decent drinks, but nothing super exotic. It's not like a bar, you're not like a restaurant bar or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You can always use thaumaturgy or something like that if you want to create like a soda water.
Yeah.
So anything exotic, you're gonna have to get a little bit magical on it. But so that's there. There is an area over here where there are a few books, and most of them give me an investigation roll.
I'm assuming it does not proc my advantage. But that is a 28.
Huh. Well, I would say that this probably procs your library use. So you could roll to see, you're looking at books. Let's see if you get a nat 20. I mean, that's pretty good, though. Yeah, so
That's
28.
22.
Yeah. There's a couple books. Some of them are just scribbles. Looks like people, working different scripts, music notes kind of thrown in there. Looks like an idea book. There is some sheet notes. There are some sheet notes, and a few other things. Looks like a fiddle accompaniment to a piano. Strangely enough, music is not a tool in this game. You'd have to roll for specific music. I don't know. Make a piano roll. I'm just kidding. Nothing super esoteric. Do you have any music proficiencies?
Absolutely not.
I mean, it looks pretty basic. There's some music notes on there, some words, but nothing that stands out too much to you.
And hidden weapons?
No weapons.
Darn it.
No weapons, no poisons. Nothing ostensibly dangerous.
Heartbreaking. In that case, she will just do the cleaning. Do do some cleaning. Like dusting, picking books up off the floor, stuff like that.
You hear a knocking at the door. Did anybody else hear that at all?
I'm assuming you banged on your desk
Yeah.
or something.
Did my crisp clean that up? You guys didn't hear it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I did not
Yep.
hear it.
Man, what a great crisp. I'm literally banging on my microphone. Let me try harder and louder. Anything?
No.
Nope.
Wow. Dude, the crisp is getting out of control. I'm literally banging on my microphone. Anyway, fortunately the listeners can hear it and they're probably like, what the fuck is he banging on his microphone that many times for? The door knocks.
Erin will go stick her head out in the hall. Please God, let Voss come in so she doesn't have to deal with this herself. No? Wonderful.
He's too far away to hear the door right now. He's in a room where they're having conversations.
Oh yes, we're linked. She'll
Okay.
tell Voss door knock. Door knock.
Door knock? Knock door?
Somebody knock on the
Ugh.
door.
Ugh, door knock. My name is Door Knock.
Voss
And-
will excuse himself for a moment, say that he'll meet everyone downstairs. He'll make sure some stuff is situated, everybody, for the stuff or whatever, and then he'll leave.
You hear Rad as he is going out. And it's like downstairs. He knows that we're still downstairs, right? Kavana
We
looks
are-
bit. What's up?
This is the first floor.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the green room, the living room that's green living room that's
Yeah,
Shut up,
yeah,
Rad.
yeah.
I exit the door.
Kavana's like, oh, he's
Alright.
he's just getting his bearings back. He continues painting.
Da-da-da.
You hear banging on the door again. Don't. Hello,
Do you know who that is?
Kavanen.
Absolutely not.
Oh, they know me, or they know him. Whatever. Step forward, and I open the door.
Zazie, give us this description of what everyone sees.
So, it is a young woman. She looks a lot like actual Zazie. She has that sort of almost supernatural beauty around her that a lot of the Kalashtar have. She has very long, bright red hair. Not like not like carrot red, not like orange. True red hair. She has very beautiful green eyes, and she is wearing a short green dress. Looks very nice on her. And unlike Zazie, the only thing that mars her otherwise perfect appearance is a long, terrible looking scar going from her forehead over her nose, right under her eye, and down her cheek.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I got.
All right, Zazie.
Well,
So,
open the door.
I sent you a quick message real fast, but go ahead and respond to that when you get a chance. She gives you a interesting look. Voss.
Good evening. I am Voss, the lady's steward of the house. Can I help?
Yeah. Are you new here? Have I met you before?
I'm not new here, no, but we have not met. I have returned after some time away. We're expecting Faya to arrive. That wouldn't be you by chance, would it?
Vea? That's me, yeah.
Vaya, pardon.
And she kind of takes a peek over at Aaron. Hi. I don't recognize you either.
Oh, this is Aaron. This is Miss Crow's new assistant.
Oh, cool. Oh
She's
man,
just standing there nodding along.
I really felt like she could use a hand. I thought about offering my services a couple of times, but maybe not exactly my forte. But you know, I don't mind mixing it up every once in a while. And she reaches out to shake Aaron's hand first.
Aaron will reach out to shake it.
Pleasure to meet you.
She's trying her hardest to not look rattled. She's trying her hardest to not look rattled.
Okay, roll performance or deception.
That is an 11.
I need to open her stat block, but I'll go with this for right now. She kind of gives you a sideways look, turns her head a little bit, nods for a second. All right, well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Aaron. And Voss?
Correct.
All right. You're the butler, or something like that.
Or something like that.
All
Sure.
right. Okay. Well, I can show myself. Are they in the parlor, the art room, lounging upstairs?
Yeah, they're in the art room.
Okay.
I know you. I know that you know your way around by now.
All right. You guys have fun.
Hand on Aaron Zazi's shoulder. Was that as mentally speaking? Mentally, is that as bad as you thought it was going to be?
Yes and no. I need a minute. I need a minute. I'm going to go outside and sit for a minute. I'm gonna refresh my spell, and then I'll be back in here.
You
But
hear
I
the
need
door
a
shut, and Vea pops her head back in. Hey, I feel like it might be rude to help myself in the kitchen, but Aaron, do you think that I could trouble you for like just a glass of wine? I can handle it from there, but I don't want to. I mean, I guess you know
as
what?
a matter of fact, I'm going to start getting the bar ready here in the music room.
Excellent.
We'll have the wine set up first. Obviously, that's the easy part. With other mixed drinks to come later.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you don't mind, I'll just follow you in there and grab the glass of wine. Kovanen is wrapping up right now, and I just wanted to grab a glass of wine just so I can, I gotta take the edge off a little before I go in there, and we go over the finishing notes of the image. Anyway, so I'll just follow you in there.
Of course. Yep. Mentally speaking to Zazie, Aaron. All right. Take your break. I'll take you from here for a few minutes. I already told them I would.
Thank you. And
turn
Aaron
away.
will.
Hustle in there to start getting glasses set up, or
So
whatever I said I would do.
I'm gonna go ahead and Zazie, can you give me another deception or performance?
$17.
Excellent. I'm still gonna roll. You know what? No, I'm not, because
Do you want me to pull her sheet up and roll for you?
I'm obeying it right now.
Okay.
Vea Shana.
Yes.
Cool.
Does it have one Y or two?
1.
1 Y, 2 A's.
Yeah, that's what gives
Even
it
when
the
shortened
ya.
to Vea.
Yes.
All right, passive perception. Yeah, definitely she's not going to notice. All right, cool. All right, as you were.
She will head out. Sit on the edge of the fountain, look over, and I assume see Lucien off in the bushes.
So I do feel like
No, not in the bushes. Like trying to like shake the door of the garage. Like you know how when a door says push but you need to, I mean, like when it says pull but you're pushing and it's like do 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 do, what the hell's going on? You know, like, so that's what Lucien is doing, but with the garage because it's locked apparently. So yeah, so that's what he's doing right now.
Not right now. Not today. God, not today. She's gonna move over to the other one.
Lucien, roll
And
perception.
actually, she's gonna.
Huh?
Roll perception.
Okay. Perception. 16.
You notice a unfamiliar woman walking around the fountains at the front entrance. You can only see it kind of like a side glance. You're off this way. You know,
I don't see you pinging, but I'm gonna assume you said this way.
this way.
Oh, all right. Then
Um,
I will.
down a path that way, and you can see from the door. You're probably looking directly over at the front of the manse. The it's two-tiered octagonal tile patio, where there are fountains on the second tier that are running right now. What is it? It's evening twilight, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lucien, roll. What is it called? Insight.
Okay.
Ooh.
16.
You can tell at a glance from afar through trees.
Trees. Forgot we're there.
Yeah. You know, at your initial glance that you saw somehow, we'll say that it's probably down this way a little bit, and you followed the path up and around. The person seems to be a little disturbed, upset, or at least one of those moments where you're like stepping into the walk-in to get a breath of cool air because you're like pissed off at one of the tables in the restaurant right now, and you just can't even.
Yeah.
What's up?
Cool. So, I don't know. I guess I'll start walking over there.
Oh, he was over on that side, then she'd move over to this side.
Cool. Yeah. You saw her walk from over there to the other side where you could no longer really see her anymore.
Yeah. Well, I already saw her, so haha.
Right. Yeah, with the 16 insight, you're not able to be like, oh, that's Zazie. But you are able to say, oh, this is an unfamiliar person working on the grounds of our manse. Who may they be?
And she's upset.
And she's upset.
Upsetty spaghetti.
Yeah, she's a very unremarkable person with mousy brown kinky hair. You know.
Oh, hello. I saw you sitting on the other side. Are you okay?
Not right now, Lucien.
Oh, you know my name. Yes, I
Yes,
guess
whatever
you would.
the fuck you're here for, it can wait another day or 2 or 3. Go to the Chalice Center or something. Now is not the time. Okay?
You know, weirdly enough,
Ugh.
your voice sounds very familiar.
It's because I'm fucking Zazie.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know Zazie had a girlfriend.
Yes. Wow. You look Very different. Did you do something with your hair?
Yeah, because I'm in disguise. Because we're infiltrating the mods.
What? Why do we need to do that? We live here.
Because we don't trust young Kovanen. And God knows what his friend. Fucking Vea is. Now is not the time. I can update you and Rose later. Now
Roll
is not the
intimidation.
time. Go away.
Okay, before I go, is there at least a way to get into the garage? I would really like my Magicycle, and, you know,
I don't fucking know.
you don't have
I
the
just
key.
got here as a new servant. I haven't been given anything.
Do you know where, Miss Crow is? I can ask her. She has, I'm sure, the keys to everything, honestly. Let's be honest.
Yes, but this should not be done tonight. Tonight is a very delicate situation is happening. You being here unnecessarily complicates things. It's going to be better for literally everybody if you go and take care of this tomorrow or the day after or something. I promise I'll update you and Rose. I'll tell you guys everything that's happening, everything that we have to be doing. But please, for the love of God, trust me and go away for tonight.
All right, I guess.
Thank you.
All right, I guess. Whatever. See you later. Sorry.
All right. I'll just be on my way. I won't try to climb into any windows or anything. Goodbye.
If I catch you climbing into
I
any
was about to say,
windows, I will flay you.
I was about to say either roll persuasion or deception to me privately.
All right, let's see. Hold on. Let's turn on whisper rolls.
And what's your insight, Zazie? Actually, just roll an insight real quick, just for funsies. While they're doing that, Voss.
Oh
A nat
shit!
20.
Oh shit!
All right, Lucian, just tell us: are you lying or not?
Absolutely.
Okay.
He's 100%
You can
gonna
tell
try to fucking
just by
climb
looking at
into
his
the-
stupid face. Like he basically told you, he's like, okay, good, I'm gonna climb in the window then. That's not the words that came out of his mouth, but that's what he was trying to tell you. But no,
Yeah, I'm
but also
going
lie.
to upcast Vortex Warp to 4th level and shunt him outside of the
Palace grounds.
outside of the walls.
Oh god. I love it.
No, display to VTT. There it goes. What the fuck?
Just tell me what it does. I believe you.
DC 7. I need a DC 17 Constitution save from him.
Okay.
And he will be teleported 90, 100, 120 feet away.
I mean, I would say that would put him at the gate, just inside of the gate he came in.
Yep.
All right.
Get that bitch out of here.
The
I cannot
reporter's
deal
gate.
with him right now.
What's the save?
17 con.
DC 17
Of what?
Con.
Constitution.
Con. Okay.
Con.
Fuck you.
Zazie, I'm gonna give you DM's inspiration, just because I really like this.
And make him re-roll.
No. You're gonna get what is DM inspiration? Is it additional D20?
No,
It's whatever you decide because you're the DM.
Yeah.
Do a D8. Subtract.
What
Okay,
the
a D8 that I
fuck?
can spend on any roll in
No,
the
no, no.
future?
You're gonna subtract it from his roll.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
20 minus 3.
He still matched it.
Ah.
Damn it.
Hey, I really liked what you're doing, but I can't unbalance the scales too far.
Sucks to suck. So what happens instead?
Nothing.
Like, do I feel it? Or do I
Yeah,
just
you
keep-
can.
Dude, you have
You can
portal sense.
feel
You know exactly what's
she
happening.
has tried to cast a spell on you to get you to leave.
Lucian turns and looks at you like, oh, you cast it on me.
Yes, because I am fucking serious. Okay? This isn't a time to mess around and play games. Ha ha ha, laugh, 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 throw things off the edge of the walls. It's gonna be, I'm telling you, it's going to be better for everyone if you leave and do this tomorrow. Do you understand that? Do you understand exactly how fucking. I need to calm down. I need to calm down. I am going to walk around the side of the building. If I see you, if I hear you, if I even smell your cologne tonight, I will murder you.
Giorgio Armani.
All right.
If you take me seriously on anything, anytime, take me seriously right now.
All right. Okay. All right, let's play this game. Go ahead. Go around the corner, and I will go.
She'll go around the corner.
Cool.
And-
I go up to this door right here, take out my cologne, spray the door, and then leave.
All right. So juvenile. I love it.
Sazi will spend 5 minutes sitting there on the ground in the grass, taking deep breaths, doing her calm down thing, that stuff that she learned from Guitarra, dismiss the disguised self, and recast it.
All right. So I'm gonna say we can wrap this. We'll go ahead and continue to wrap the scene up. But Lucian and Rose, I feel like Rose, this was probably around the same amount of time that you spent downstairs. I mean, when you guys walk out into the alley, I think there's a pretty decent possibility that one of you will at least be in sight of the other one. Just considering the amount of time that each spent down there. Lucian had to walk a further distance, but he was there for a shorter period of time. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense.
Okay.
Rose also took her time, but was still kind of 10, 15 minutes at most.
Roll 2d3.
Duran?
Each of you roll a d3.
T3. Okay.
2d3. You mean a d6?
No, just a d3 each of you.
They're different because the minimum of a 2d3 is always 2.
How do you do this?
Thank you, Kavanan.
/ rolled 1d3.
/?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Lucian, you'll actually pop out first, but Rose, be shortly behind him. What I was going to do is if one of you rolled 1 and the other one rolled 3, you wouldn't have passed each other. But, yeah. Lucian, you're going to pop out. You were there, like, beat the door, whatever, you walk out. Rose, you'll notice him walking up the alley ahead of you, and you guys can handle that when we get to that point. I just wanted to address that before we got there. All right, Zazie. Back to you.
Don't forget that the door has been sprayed.
Zazie, roll perception.
9.
Just, you smell the essence of his cologne. Barely smell it.
Ugh. Just stand there and bang her head on the door.
Oh man, you
Once.
can really smell it now.
and
Roll it
then
again.
head
Roll it again
on
with advantage.
in.
19. As you're banging your head on the door,
It's just the one bang.
what is that? And you
That's
smell.
the dog. Hold on, give me a sec. Oh, you don't hear.
No, I was like, you smell. You probably can't even hear me sniffing. Could you hear me sniffing?
Yeah.
Okay. You smell his cologne on the door. That motherfucker sprayed his cologne on the door.
Next time I see him, I will hurt him.
Proceed.
He will not escape my righteous fury.
Yeah. Fuck that guy.
But then, yeah, once she's done, when she's all composed again, when she's Aaron again, she will head on inside. What's Kovanen been doing in the meantime? Well, not Kovanen. Voss. Our Kovanen.
Just say Voss while Kovanen's around. For my sake. Sorry.
TM, is it my turn?
It is.
Okay. I'll get the little bar area ready. You know, while she was outside. Several minutes. Not that the little bar thing takes too long to get ready. He just takes the bottles out of the cabinet, sets some glasses on the table.
Yeah. Kovanen is finishing up his painting. Everyone seems to be pretty intent. So you notice that everybody seems to be in a much better mood than before you left. Kovanen's painting. He's wrapping up. Vea. That's right, Vea. What
Yeah,
was I
Vea.
saying before? Was I saying Vela?
Yeah.
Man, I can't believe I was saying that. Anyway, is standing
neither.
next to him and kind of like leaning forward as he's painting, and her shoulder is just touching his. Roll insight.
So are they in the music room now?
No, they're still in the painting room. He's finishing his painting.
Oh, okay. I was getting the bar ready in the music room.
Yeah, exactly. You were. They're still in the painting room.
Okay. I go to the painting room. I see this.
That works. So you walk into the painting room and you see what I just described.
Now 7.
Oh wow, okay. You don't really notice much.
I don't like that. I'm going to use my DM inspiration from last time. And what'd you say that does?
The one that I gave to you was I'll just allow you to pass. You know, it's a legendary resistance.
Yeah, I'll use it here, which seems silly, but I really want to know what these people want with Kovanen, so I'm using it.
All right. She's leaning forward on his shoulder. It seems as though she's intentionally being physically close to him. Over her shoulder, you actually notice that Rad is watching, and he seems to be enjoying it. Has a calculated grin on his face. When you walk in, she nods and then goes back to sit down.
Okay. As I'm walking in and preparing to, make an entrance into the room and tell them what's going on, what's his painting look like? Is he all done with the previous?
Yeah, it
thing you
is.
described?
I mean, so it is the painting that is on our Instagram. If you care to look at it, anyone who listens to the show, it's from a couple weeks ago, and it is a picture of someone that looks a lot like Kovanen, and then a small statured woman with like a platinum colored hair, wearing a white dress, um, staring out across what looks like could be Fairhaven, with a meteor going off in the distance in one direction, and then like a dark meteor heading off in the opposite direction. I should probably actually look at the picture so I can see for sure what it looks like. But I feel like that's a pretty close description of it.
Yeah, that's about right.
And yeah, I mean that's it.
Right. Well, I'll walk in, make my way to the little hors d'oeuvres trays, pick one up. If Rad's nearby, I'll hand him one. Right. Well, the drinks are set up in the music room. You mentioned you wanted to go over there.
Kovanen snaps out of it. Yes, I do. Voss, what do you think? It just kind of came to me. What do you think? He turns around and kind of looks over at you. He holds up his elbow. He still has the paintbrush in his hand. He's got like a glass of wine in one hand, his elbow resting on the wrist of the other. He's kind of like biting the back of the paintbrush, almost like you would a cigar or a cigarette. Holding the wine glass, studiously looking at the painting, then back at you.
Well, I'll step up beside him, hands clasped together behind my back. Like, I mean, the content, the nature of the content aside, is he actually pretty decent at painting, like the skill of painting?
Yeah, I mean, the fundamentals are all right on. It's almost like an impressionistic style. It's not like a realism, but it's still very good.
Mm-hmm.
For the amount of time that he put into it, there's no way he could have done realism. I mean, in the impressionist style,
Sure.
just for the sheer number of colors on the page itself, he might be better than you.
I'm so proud. Well, I'll, looking at it, just nod my head silently a few times. It's, if I unfocus, I'm really speaking more to him. I don't really care if everyone else can hear my feedback to him. So I might be speaking a little quieter than they were to him. If I unfocus my eyes a little bit, I really draws me in. I feel like I'm there on the cliff with that woman.
He nods his head. He's like, I feel the same way.
Have you ever
No,
seen anything like that?
no, I haven't. It's funny. So it's so strange because when I first started painting this, I thought that it was me and the lady.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it still is. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
It both can be and could not be at the same time.
Do you think that the meteors mean something, or comets, or whatever they are?
More than you know.
It's just, I remember when we were younger, you told me a story about when you were younger, about the comet.
Mhm.
But the funny thing is I did not remember it until I started painting it. And then when I was done, it just kind of faded. I remember remembering it at the time. It's kind of like, I'm beginning to realize there are so many things that just seem like gaps in my memory. Have you ever felt
I'll,
that way?
Lean in just a little bit more to him. Hold on to that. I know exactly what you're talking about. We'll finish the evening out, we'll do our social thing and talk about it.
I'm glad you're back. I feel like I have so many questions and I just don't know where to begin. And it's just good to have someone back that I can talk to. And I feel like you're probably the only one. I mean, and he looks around the room and everyone's just staring at him. How about some music, everyone? He kind of claps.
Great work again on the painting. We'll go to the music room.
At this time, would Erin still be outside or would she be back?
I would say this is around. Yeah, this would probably be around the time that. Well, because he was setting up the room while you were outside, so you could have probably even been witnessing this all from outside. What would you have been doing after you came in?
She would have gone to the music room,
Okay.
not back to the
Sweet.
painting room.
Yeah, no, you'd just be kind of waiting in there, and they would be arriving at this point. However,
Right.
I do want to take a bio break at 9. We're at 9.
Okay.
I want to keep these a little bit tighter. When we come back, I want to roll into Lucian and Rose. We'll take that to about 10. Sweet.
Okay.
See you guys in 10 minutes. I'm back already.
I'm also back.
Cool. There we go. Get some the Victorian New Orleans. All right. So Zazi's not like a huge fan of Vaya being back. I mean, did she not expect it? What's going on there?
I mean, expecting a thing to happen, and then the something actually happened, are two very different things.
Yeah, like one time my mom told my dad that I had like an F on my report card, and he's like, "I'm gonna beat your ass when I get home," and I was like, "Thanks for letting me know. Like, I know what to expect now." But it wasn't easy.
It's like, but someone telling you they're going to beat your ass and getting your ass beat are two different things. It wasn't easy. That was actually a really good comparison. Thanks for that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of shit.
So, Rose picked a perfect picture for
Mm-hmm.
the
Are
background.
you just now seeing?
I
Super
looked at it and
special
saw it as a
secret room?
bookcase, but I didn't realize that it was a bookcase that opened.
Mm-hmm.
It's the office.
Pretty well known little place.
Oh my god. All right.
Partner interruption abound, because that was my end too. But no, like, so okay, that is like what Grimvor's office in Boots looks like.
No, that's the study in the manse.
It's the
Door
study in the
behind
manse.
Yeah. So
Oh
the
shit!
manse
Yeah, that
is-
study.
The
Yeah,
manse
yeah.
is 3 stories, counting the secret basement one.
Oh yeah,
Technically,
it's a
that would make it
basement. I mean, does
all the way
basement
in.
count?
Yeah.
When somebody says it's the 3-story house, you say,
It usually means up.
Yeah.
but if it has a basement, say it's 2 stories with a basement.
Right. Right. Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah, what that interruption was about is that she's been trying to sneak up on me to take a picture, but I keep like looking over every time she gets close. And so like one of her friends is like it's a higher DC, it's a higher DC. You gotta roll higher for your stealth. So I went over when we started break, and she's like, "Yeah, he said it's a 25 DC." I was like, "No, it's a 30. That means possible." So yeah, she was walking away saying like, "I'm gonna sneak up on you. Watch, I'm gonna do it."
Well, I mean, what needs to happen is she needs to lower your perception first. So, you know, that way, you know, there's got to be like she's gonna put some kind of like debuff on you first. So,
Yeah.
however that's gonna work, I'm not sure yet, but you know. All right, we're all back.
Theoretically.
Theoretically. All right. Rose.
Yep.
You pop out of the the backside of the archives, and you see good old Lucian standing there. It's nighttime. You hear some people walking around in the distance. Let me get a perception roll from each of you guys real quick before we commence.
All right. I mean, is that really even fair? Like, I have my Game Shark on, clearly.
It's pretty good.
Really?
Um,
I'm gonna
Rose,
start rolling the internal dice.
you don't even see Lucian. You're like, oh, there's a person up there. I have no idea who it is. I can't see him. It's dark. I don't even have night vision. Wait, yes, I do. I still can't tell.
She's in her own head at the moment.
Yeah. Lucian, you hear...
I hear the squeaking of her fucking arm.
Yeah, you hear the very distinct sound of Rose's clotting armor behind you. Probably, I don't know. Probably...
Even though it's mithril and doesn't give her a disadvantage on stealth anymore.
It's like 50.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, well, still, he rolled a 26 on perception. You
Yeah.
hear the comforting susurra of her armor rubbing together, and the clotting sound of her feet hitting the ground.
Yeah.
Her armor is very quiet.
You may have stealthy armor, but you still fucking trample like
Yeah, she's a fucking
Oh.
beast. Anyway, I'm just kidding. And her breathing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, now that's going a little too far. I'll give you the feet. She's only light on her feet when she needs to be.
well, what do you expect from pig people? Anyway,
Ooh, not in this game. Not in this game.
Ooh.
no, I'm just playing.
All right.
Anyway,
Ganondorf. So yeah,
Right.
you hear her. You hear her. She pops
Yeah.
up on you. Also,
Turn
you
around.
hear the sound of, let's say, you're probably about here. Somewhere around here. Let's take a look in a book. Reading Rainbow. I don't know. It's around the corner, but you hear the sound of down the alley, people having a conversation. You see three silhouettes. Silhouette, alouette, alawata.
What? Okay. Wait. All right. Which one do I
Attend to first.
focus on first? You know what? Yeah. I am going to do the silhouette see me. Do I get an idea that they might?
No, I mean, you
See.
guys aren't the only people in the alley. You know, they're walking in your direction, but it doesn't seem to be. It's pretty unremarkable at this point.
Okay.
You just know that
That-
you and Rose aren't the only people in the alley, but you're being approached by three people, maybe even up as much as a quarter mile away from you right now. But specifically walking in your direction down that main, you know, it's not really an alley. It's like a main thoroughfare, but it's like a back main thoroughfare. It's a back road.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'll stop and wait for Rose. Like, and when she, you know, gets closer, like, any luck?
Yeah. I mean, maybe later this evening, but not if I have a heart attack first.
Oh, that's gross.
He's just standing there.
Don't you know not to sneak up on somebody?
Totally
I
didn't
did not
sneak up on you at all.
Anyone. I was standing. I was standing in the middle of the road. You would have walked into.
Oh,
You must be distracted.
I mean, yes. Yes, I am. And not for the reason you think before you go there.
Oh, I wasn't even gonna think it, but you know, now that you mention it, that is gross. Yes, I attempted to get my Magicycle, but I don't know. Zazie is not Zazie. She looks unremarkable, honestly. You know, nothing like herself. But I was not able to open the garage for some reason. It's locked, and I checked under the rock where the key usually is. It's not there.
I mean, we technically don't live there anymore.
Yes, the hell we do. My room is right upstairs. Oh no, someone's sleeping in my room, aren't they? I'm gonna kill them.
You know, there's enough rooms in the house that it's not likely that someone has just taken over your room.
What if it's Rad? Oh man,
Ugh.
Rad
Just like
seems
laying
the
in your
type.
bed, like banging Vaya.
That's all right, because there's still a
disgusting.
wet
Okay,
spot.
I didn't need that image in my head.
It's like the two of them just like occasionally
Ah,
bringing in baby
Yellow card.
Kovanen.
Ugh.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. It's probably Kovanen and Vaya and fucking Rad is watching.
Oh man! All right, we're moving on. Moving on.
Anyway.
Moving on.
Yes. So, yes. I wasn't able to get my Magicycle. As you can see, I'm walking like a heathen. Do you? Who are they? Those people up there. The three people that are walking towards us. As of late, we haven't had much luck with issues. Should we be alarmed?
Well, I mean, we're in Fairhaven. We're not going to be able to escape people here in the city. As she's saying that, she is taking a closer look in the direction that Lucian does indicate.
Roll perception.
I'm gonna try it one more time from the sheet, and if it still rolls under a okay, I'll take an 18.
Okay. You do have night vision, but they're still ways off. You realize that you need to walk up to them to figure out who they are. They do seem to be walking with a purpose and approaching rather quickly.
Like, is that approaching rather quickly with a purpose? Is there indication by body language that purpose is us? Or just they're trying to rush through the city?
Great question. Roll insight.
$22.
No, they're not rushing. They are just moving at a good clip, if you will, in your direction.
Mhm.
They're having conversations. The conversations seem to be kind of clipped, but yeah, it's not. They're not rushing in your direction with a sense of that they're coming for you guys, from what you can tell from where you are. Yeah, 3 people. What do you guys do?
Now, just for frame of reference, are they heading towards or away from the general direction of the Chalice Scepter?
No, they're heading. You guys are heading. I mean, you guys. I guess you could go back through this way and get stuck in the whole, like this whole grounds that's basically surrounded by walls, and like sneak out through an alley back here somehow, if you wanted to. But they are progressing from this way directly towards this direction.
You realize that I cannot see a thing you just clicked.
Yeah, that there were no keys at all.
Can you see this?
No.
No, dude, you're on the wrong layer.
Really? Because I have the flag. Are you on the map layer?
Yes.
Fucking.
Oh, the wrong layer. Gotcha. I need to be on token layer. Okay. So you guys are right here.
Uh-huh.
So, basically the complex where,
Yeah.
who knows what the
The
fuck these
men's
buildings
and-
are. I'm assuming these are all some sort of academic buildings. Maybe
Yeah,
these
other
are like dorms
college
for noobs.
buildings.
Yeah. Here's a museum. They're walking in from the main outside entrance, that you guys came in, walking
Mhm.
towards the Mons. And directly in your direction. So,
I mean, we still have to get back to the Chalice Center. So I'm thinking we just walk. I mean, what can they do, really?
They don't seem to be heading toward us. However,
well, they're heading directly in your direction.
yeah, let's just hang out to the side. If they approach the manse, then we figure out who they are. And if they pass the manse, then all's well and good.
So, in other words, act casual.
Yeah, like find a corner to pretend you're making out in, and then just kidding.
I mean, in theory, despite the fact that we haven't been to school in quite some time, we are college students. We can, stand
I mean,
off
the
to
steps
the
back
side.
down into the talk about
I mean,
class.
right, exactly. We do
Back
belong
class.
here. So it's not like we're out of place, really. All right, Leah. Yes, let's just stand close to this wall. Talk about class. Whatever. I don't know.
I mean,
Come on.
I
Lucy,
am going to be
like,
a assistant. I'm getting back to work assisting the new professor. It's
oh,
replacing
congratulations.
the old one.
Right.
All right. So
Be reporting back to him in the morning.
the three gentlemen you see progressing down the alley. Let me get a history check from each of you. Rose, actually, each of you with advantage.
Hell yeah. That's a 12.
Holy mother freaking!
Oh, shit. No, but it's an advantage. It's advantage. Roll again.
It is an advantage. I rolled a double one.
I promise it's okay.
No shit.
That's pretty bad. Wow, what do you even do
Curse
about
your
that?
game shark.
I've never seen that ever.
You know what?
It just shows up on my screen as a fucking 0. It doesn't even
It
show
is.
2 1s. I see
I'll
below.
take a 6.
I
You
see-
have to highlight because it's a special roll thing.
What if they roll? If they're both the same roll, it just shows you one roll.
Yep.
No. It's that roll input method doesn't show both numbers. It's at advantage, so it just shows you the higher number.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But if you hover your mouse over it, you can see the calculation.
No, I
Yeah.
see it. Huh, that's
That's fucking wild.
Rose. You suffer from
Wow.
temporary blindness.
Apparently. Goddamn. I don't have any GM inspiration that I'm aware of.
No,
Damn it.
no. I usually only hand that out for like when somebody's doing something really fucking silly or dumb or cool.
With all the fucking silly bullshit that I've done, I've never gotten
but it's
inspiration.
got DR. It's got DR.
Fuck you.
You know what I mean?
Because most of your stuff has been like punished. It was like the
Yeah.
opposite, like DM on inspiration.
Right. All right. So what happens? Does a 12 work at all?
Lucian, for 12, you recognize this guy. Fuck it, you recognize both
Okay.
of these guys. One is Lieutenant. Lieutenant
Moore.
Lieutenant Moore. I'm sorry, I was
Mhm.
trying to think of how to say his name. Polton Moore. Polton. What kind of fucking name is Polton? Anyway,
Name you came up with.
yeah, I know. Lieutenant Polton Moore, and then Captain Block.
How the hell did I
Oh.
not recognize Captain Block? I'm gonna be mad.
You,
Well, to be
I'm
fair,
at
you're
my
like
base.
looking the other
Token
way or
we've never-
something. You're like, okay, I'll lean up in this corner. Oh, I'm gonna hide.
To be fair, that's also a token we've never seen before. So
What,
even
this one?
like out of, yeah, even out of
No,
game, like
Yeah.
That's the one we used for Block before.
No, I think we
No.
used a different one.
No,
yeah.
it's the same one.
Have we ever seen block? Have we ever seen a block token?
Not that I can recall.
You probably
honestly.
didn't know it was a Block token because I used the same token for all of the red coats, for the red
Mm.
cloaks. It is the red cloak token. Now, however, there are 2 red cloak tokens. There's this one, and then let me find you the other one real quick, just so you guys can see. Listeners, just bear with us so I can prove to them that there are 2 nearly identical tokens that represent the red cloaks.
Can you at least blow up the block token so that we get a better idea?
Yeah, I mean, I picked this one specifically because it's pretty unremarkable. You can't tell he's whatever.
Oh, I see the difference. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Oh, it is the same token, it's just zoomed in.
yeah,
Yeah.
and a different color background.
Right.
Anyway, so
Whatever.
yeah, I'm just saying. All right, so there's your block token. He's he's probably like, you know, kind of like a tan skin. He is a Korvar. No, also known as a half elf, but you don't call people half elves in this game. That's racist. Tan. He's got like a little bit of like a thick, burly goatee going on. Kind of like a Middle Eastern look, desert folk type of person. He's you know, for those of you that have seen him that are familiar with the region, he's probably from Kubara, like his lineage.
Okay. All right. I mean, listen. I do not have a relationship with Block. If anybody does, it's Rose.
What
So
about-
it's not
what
like
about
I would
Pool?
Go
I mean, more.
Huh?
What am I thinking?
more? Yeah, I don't have a relationship with him either. If again,
The
if-
only
if
thing
anybody... Go ahead.
that you might recognize them from the trial and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like it's not like I would go out of my way to hide in. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, again, I'm gonna stay discreet. Maybe tell Rose like, hey, there goes your buddy.
Buddy, as she picks herself out of whatever she found herself in. Explaining away the that one.
Block and Lieutenant Moore.
From what I remember of Block and Lieutenant Moore, did they get along?
So
They weren't getting along towards the end of.
yeah, so
her time before they
for
left.
the listeners and for a recap for everybody
Mhm.
else, Lieutenant Moore was a chief inquisitive for the city itself. You know, there was some corruption going on, and he came to you guys like out of, you know, his own thing. Like, hey, he's working on a case, and it had a lot to do with the deaths that were going on around the town. There were nobles being essentially looked like sacrificial type murders. He bumped shoulders with, and not elbows, with Block during your case. Block specifically supported you guys, though. In general, the
Yeah.
Silver Flame was kind of working against you guys. The local constabulary was working with you guys on, you know, behind Block. I'm sorry, behind Moore. God damn it. Yeah, Moore. Behind Moore. And, but Block kind of came around towards the end. And then it turned out when Felt showed back up, you know, obviously the head inquisitive from Inquisitor. I'm sorry, the head Inquisitor from the Silver Flame actually kind of got a little bit of a weird turnaround from Felt, and there's a backstory there. We still don't know exactly what happened, but from that point, I would say that the local city watch and the Silver Flame were kind of forced to work together because the Silver Flame kind of took presence in the city at that point. You know, they were almost like a thing like martial law almost, and they're still here apparently.
She's not surprised that the Silver Flame are still here because one of the things that she did do is ask the Flame to kind of bolster the numbers of the gatekeepers watching the ward. Because she knows that there's not enough gatekeepers in the city to watch that gate that freaked out on them earlier in the winter. Or last winter. She is surprised to see Moore and Block. Do they look like they're buddy-buddy, or are they arguing with each other?
They seem to be... Roll insight.
If I roll another frickin' 1, I'm going to beg you to let me roll with the internal dice on roll 20. I'll take the nat 20 for 25.
Yeah.
Damn.
These dice are making me nervous.
I'll send you the link to the game, Shark. I got you.
It sounds like they're having a discussion about. Well, I guess they're probably close enough for you guys to see them at this point. You can hear them talking.
Mhm.
You can see the body language. Moore and Block seem to be having a bit of a debate with this other guy. He has a like a scroll in his hand that is rolled out, and he's kind of gesturing to it with one hand and talking to one of them, and then the other one, and Block is kind of like doing the rubbing his face kind of thing. He's like very frustrated. Moore is more of like gesticulating with his hands. They're all talking. They all seem to be getting along, but it's like there's a story that's being told back and forth, and you rolled a nat 20. Okay. There's a story that's being told back and forth between Moore and Block, and they're like nodding their heads and talking, and then they gesture back at him, and he's going through the facts again, and then they're, on whatever this scroll is that's in front of them, and they're kind of like, no, and then they start talking again, talking back and forth between each other, and they talk to him, and then it appears that, as he's approaching, also you can hear him saying, it's like, listen, I've told you, a million times, it says it right here. And at that point, they kind of terminate in front of you guys at the entrance to the Monts. Let's see. I'm just going to roll a group perception roll for them. They walk right up to the two front doors at the gate, and they look around. The gate's closed. There is a like a little rope that's kind of hanging there on a bell, and they kind of like look at each other, and Moore just shrugs, and he starts ringing the bell. Kovanen and Zazie, roll perception.
A 19 from Voss.
3.
Okay, Voss. In the grand vestibule, you hear the sound of a small bell being rung directly outside the front door.
Yeah, well, moving about and moving down to the music room, getting some stuff ready, that kind of thing. I'll perk up when I hear it. if Erin's back in milling about, I'll tell her that I'll hold it down for a minute. For a second, I gotta go see who that is, and then leave. I'll poke my head out the front door.
So when you poke your head out the front door, there is a bell attached to the house that is ringing. And as you step outside, you hear at the main entrance, you know, the one where Lucian hit the guy with the magicycle, there is a bell being rung out there. Roll perception again, please. As you look out.
I will. Yeah, I definitely want to see who that is as I begin walking towards them slowly. 18.
All right. Yeah, you can see there are 3 silhouettes standing there. There are a couple of sconces with lights directly above the main entrance, so you can see them. They're cast in shadow. Well lit, but they have that kind of like thing where the light's coming directly down on them, and it's creating those strange cavities where their eyes and cheeks and faces are, and under their nose. There are 3 of them standing there, and one of them is ringing the bell.
Gotcha. Well, Voss Kovanen had previously expressed interest at the notion that some people may be watching the manse. It's in the evening, and they've just walked right up and are knocking on the front door, so to speak. So this is either something casual or something very, very serious. So he'll roll his eyes and shoulders slump a little bit, but gathers himself, begins to walk down the road, the little drive, one hand up, so they know he knows they can see him, and then he'll stop about 15 feet away from the gate. Good evening, gentlemen. What can we do for you?
They look at each other, look back at you. Block steps forward. We are here to, well, strangely enough, speak with Kovanen? Are you familiar with the name?
Yes, of course. My name is Voss, steward of the house. I can check if Kovanen is available. I will.
That would
first
be
check his schedule if he is here, but check if he's available.
more
What
steps
message
forward.
Could I?
He rubs his forehead and kind of shakes his head a little bit. And he looks back at Block, and the gentleman behind them looks at both of them like and says like, what is wrong with you two? What are you doing? And both of them seem to be almost like looking confused. Please bring Kovanen out. We need to speak with him about some matters that occurred before. Him specifically, if you could notify no one else.
Speak with him about some matters. Is this... Well, as the steward of the house and someone who cares for Kovanen's well-being, I must ask what this is about.
Well, unfortunately, that information should be shared with him directly.
Well then, who should I tell him is asking?
Let him know that the coalition of the 12, Silver Flame, and the city of Greater Wynon, Fairhaven, request his presence at his gate.
I'll take a few more steps up. Hoping to actually recognize these people. It's been a long time, but maybe Kumon recognize. Maybe Voss recognizes more from way back in the day. This guy, Silver Flame, written all over him. What does this third guy look like? What's his deal?
He is an average, probably between, say, like 5'9" and 5'11" ish height. Brown hair, hazel eyes. He's wearing blue and gold, kind of like a blue robes over a more traditional style suit with like golden brocade. It's carrying himself in kind of a more haughty type way than the other two.
Yeah, wearing robes over a suit sounds like a magistrate or some kind of legal thing.
Roll perception. No, you already rolled perception. You rolled well. Roll history.
18.
So, looking at some of the iconography and the way he's dressed, it looks kind of like like the seal on his robes. It's like the seal of the 12, which you would relate to the dragon marked houses, which you've heard about this group kind of slowly taking a more executive role in running Corvair.
Right.
In newspapers and on the radio, and conversationally, it's just kind of like a dialogue narrative, or narrative that you've heard kind of being spread multiple times over the past like 9 months.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They got a little bit of bad press after your guys' fight out in that like secret underground laboratory. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Voss nods and asks them to wait a moment. He'll make a token effort to. Oh, I'll go see if he's available, if he's here at all or whatever. Go inside, stand in the foyer for like 4 minutes, doing nothing, then come back out.
Yeah. So.
At the gate.
Yep, Rose and Lucian, you watch this exchange happening. What are you guys doing while this is going on?
I mean, if there's enough time before Voss walks off, because this is a two-part question.
Go for it.
And this is, I'm not sure how else to phrase it, but are we under the Mance's weird magic purview thingy now that we're back in Fairhaven? The whole weird memory issues that were around the Mance?
Roll insight.
A natural 20?
Nice.
Again?
Okay, so when this exchange was happening, and this is a two-part answer.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hell,
yeah.
you didn't get the second part, but it might answer the second question anyway.
Well, anyway, so while you're watching this exchange occur, you detect that both Block and Moore are having a hard time recalling names and the exact like relationships of what happened before, as they're approaching the Mance. When they were talking before back and forth between each other and to whoever this gentleman is who has yet to have been introduced, they seemed more certain. But when they requested to speak with Kovanen, based on the name, on this paper, then they were asked questions specifically about him or surrounding information that touches him. They definitely were lost and realized they were having some trouble working their way through some information. It's like, hey, yeah, I was looking to speak with Kovan, and wait, yeah, shit. Oh man, and the guy's like, hold on, let me take over.
Okay.
So yes, you're very much aware that is happening right now.
So the wars are back in place, but it's not affecting us.
Not at all. Not in the slightest.
All right. So if I'm still within 120 feet of Voss,
Ish, yeah.
I'm going to use the message. Well, he's within 20 feet. I'm going to use the message cantrip on him to see if he needs our assistance. Would you like me to get rid of them?
Boss looks around up into the air for a second, like, when did she get here? Like, in town at all? But he responds, no. Let's not make it more serious than it already might be. I'll be back out in 4 minutes, making a token effort to fetch Kovanen, and then I will arrange a meeting with them later.
So, it's a cantrip. All right, we'll watch from here. And yes, we're back in town.
So, Boss Kovanen steps back out, walks back out to the gate. No, I'm afraid Kovanen is not available to meet on such ridiculously short notice this evening, though it may be important. That's fair. Is there a time soon that we could arrange a meeting?
Unfortunately, no. The request to meet with him is a bit of a courtesy. We would request to meet with him in advance, or we can simply enter by force.
Oh, it's that. He didn't really lead with the he was under arrest kind of thing.
He is not under
course.
arrest. That is
But
where
he
things
went into
get
the grounds
complicated.
by force.
There are those we believe to be taking refuge here.
You worry that the house is harboring dare I say criminals?
We have sources to let us know that one of them recently arrived and the other one has been here for several hours.
Well, as steward of the house, of course, this concerns me. I mean, rather, I am concerned about it.
You should
am I
be.
in danger?
Please. You are not in direct danger as far as we can tell. However, the Kovanen certainly could be.
I'll cast a nervous glance out into the shadows of wherever Rose and Lucian are. And, well, very well. This paints the situation in a different light. I will, again, confer with Kovanen. Wait here, on the other side of the gate. And I'll hustle it back inside. Alright, have they all moved to the music room? Or are they sort of still...
Yeah, so let's flash over to Zazie real quick. Meanwhile, Aaron, they have made their way into the music room. They're kind of hanging out. I would say they've probably only been in there a few moments. Um, sorry, I'm trying to get them set up. Where are the tokens is at? What the hell?
Their tokens are in the painting room.
Oh, I was looking at the wrong floor. I'm like, why can I not see them? There we go. All right, big fat boy back here. All right, and then
Oh, DM, if maybe when it's getting close to the time for Voss Kovanen to make his entrance into the Aaron scene, let me know because I'm gonna speak to Zazie telepathically, but I forgot to do that as I was running into the house.
okay, go ahead and handle that.
Oh, all right. Aaron, Zazie, they are authority people are on the way. They're at the gate. Actually, they're already here. They want to artist of mine, Kovanen, may be in danger. According to the authorities, they might take his friends away.
Oh, lovely. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you for letting me know. I am aware of that now.
I'm sprinting inside.
All right, so in the parlor, shit, what are their names? I don't remember. Anyway, the fiddle
Seraphina
player.
and Lila and Goran
There we go.
and Radner.
Yeah. Lila is playing the. I'm sorry, Seraphina is playing the piano and singing a back harmony to Goran, who's singing, who actually has a beautiful deep baritone. And then Lyra? Anyway, Lila is playing the violin, not a harmony, a counter harmony to the piano. The three of them are singing. It's actually pretty fucking good, actually. Kovanen, Vea, and Rad are all hanging out at the table. They're enjoying the music. They're all drinking. They're all very close. Voss interstage left.
I'll stop at the door, not look panicked anymore. Open the door. Head all over to the table, which is right next to the little bar. Make it look like no, I'll just pour myself a short glass of wine since I need to be standing here. Wow, they are really talented performers.
Yes, they are. It's quite nice to listen to.
Oh, Voss,
She
you're
yells
back.
from across the entire room.
Oh, I thought you were.
Yeah.
Never mind.
It's fine. You're close enough. The room's not that big. Voss, you're back. Did I hear the doorbell by any chance? I thought I did.
Yeah, yes, I'm handling it. But speaking of, can I talk with you outside for a second? I say to Kovanen, of course.
Roll persuasion with advantage.
With advantage,
Mm-hmm.
27.
He stands up and starts to follow you out. I'll be right back.
I'll walk in the room.
You guys have fun. I will. Bye. And he grabs the wine off of the bar and plops it down on the table, and then rushes out to follow you out.
I'll make it sound, super unserious. Like walking out of the room with them, I'm like, do they sing often? What do you think about the drinks? I close the door. I walk to the center of the room with them. Okay, we gotta talk about your friends. This came to a head more quickly than I thought it would.
What do you mean?
The artist's mind, right? That's them.
Right. I mean, mostly that's just something Vea and Rad have been. Keep calling him Rad. Radner have been part of for a while, but yeah, they did that. So what?
Well, they've. Are you aware that of like that weird? and I'm fuzzy on the details myself. That weird music thing that was going around, like some kind of virus making people act kind of crazy in the city.
Oh yes, the So I mean, it was kind of a prank, you know. Vea and Radner worked on the song, and it was kind of like there was some magic laced into it, and obviously the government can't just have people singing songs that are gonna make people start following them, and I think there was some other thing going on in the city at the same time that had to do with some sort of drug addiction, and they got kind of conflated. Anyway, so he shrugs, but I mean it was harmless. It was just a silly song and a play and all that.
Well, there are some people that don't really think it might have been so harmless, I'm afraid.
Well, okay. So what's that mean?
I think your friends have been being watched by some authority figures lately. They are people of interest, might be the safe way they would describe it.
So what now then? Is that Do we have to do something about it? Tonight?
Those people are at the gate. Come on in. Whether or not they, your friends, are dangerous to you, they believe they could be a danger to you. Be upfront with you. They want to speak with you outside, at the gate. I tried to arrange a meeting sometime later so we could, you can go about your evening, but
I
they
mean, shouldn't. What? I got to go back and tell them. Can't just
I want you to hear them out first.
What? No, I just can't let them come in here and arrest my friends.
I don't think we're not going to let them just come in here and arrest anyone. Because I don't want them to just walk onto the grounds and arrest anyone.
Yeah, maybe I should go out and clear this up. Let's go. Come on.
I'll go with you.
He just kind of rushes out ahead of you. All right, meanwhile, outside.
Message Zazie, tell her what I'm doing.
Lieutenant Moore looks stressed. He's real stressed. He's pacing. Pulls out a paper, throws some sort of leaves inside of it, and rolls it up and starts smoking it. Starts walking out. Yeah, walking out away from the rest of them. Breathes in. You can hear the crackling of whatever incendiary particles of plant matter there are. And he looks up. He sees Lucian and Rose. Hello.
Lieutenant?
Hello.
Yeah. Fancy seeing you two here.
And see,
I mean,
just had business down in the archives.
You guys just
Clearing
getting
things up before I start work back in the morning.
Okay.
I mean, considering this is all summer, this is probably where that you would expect us to see us.
Not exactly. I came here a couple months ago looking for. Well, I was actually looking for Rose, believe it or not. Probably 2 months ago.
A couple months ago.
Yeah.
No, that would have been Zarashak, right? It's been a busy few months.
Yeah. I don't know. It was somewhere between a month and 2 months ago. We were in the middle of all this, and he gestures to the two other guys at the fence. They're talking, and the guy in the blue robe looks over, and he's kind of like puts both of his hands up, looks at Moore, is like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He doesn't say that, but you can kind of read that in his posture as he he's got his hands out and raises his shoulders and makes that Al Pacino face. Moore's like, I better get back over here. Listen, can you guys just we got to go in here. Apparently there've been some squatters essentially just hanging out at your house while you guys were gone.
Well, I'm not stopping you.
Yeah, I can't really get into the details with you guys, but some of the stuff that was going on in the city when we first met, I think we have kind of narrowed things down a little bit.
Who reported the squatters?
Reported? Oh, nobody specifically. Just good old fashioned detective work.
Oh, well,
We figured out they
there
were
you
staying
go.
here, and you guys aren't here, or weren't for a time. Your friend Kovanen was still here,
Hmm.
and anyway, he kind of thumbs back over his shoulder.
Get back to work.
Yeah,
I
I gotta get
will-
back to it.
All right. Well, we'll leave you two then. Good work.
Nice.
Hopefully you can get this all sorted out so that we can get back into our home. My magicycle is locked away. Both of my magicycles are locked away, and I am unable to retrieve them, which is quite troubling. So hopefully you're able
Oh,
to
Yeah, you
clear the
definitely-
riffraff.
Yeah, you definitely want to get in there. Those artsy types are nothing but trouble, man. They're just gonna sit in there and soak up.
Hold on. Kavanen is an arty type. and I
Yeah, they're
wouldn't
hanging
call
out with him. I mean, it's his
riffraff.
house, so I mean that's why he's probably putting them up. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Putting them up or putting up with them? That's the
Both.
question.
Anyway, I guess we'll see.
Do you think he's in danger?
Do you know who else is in there?
He looks at Lucian, who asked the question last, and then back at Rose. He points at her a little bit, like kind of like a low point, from the hip. I think he might be, honestly. If you want to back over here with me, I'll introduce you to these other two gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, keep
It might be
casual looking.
beneficial. I mean, Lucian, Kavanen's your best friend, or something
Right.
like that. Like you guys were very close.
Yes,
Rose-
best friend.
You
Way
guys
to
were.
put it,
He's
yes.
one of your best friends too. I'm assuming you guys all lived together. When we went through the trial. I mean, I know that you two seemed very close, and Rose. I mean, obviously you as well. That you weren't like as in.
No, I'm in his closest confidence, but I am concerned with his safety.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, if I was as close, I guess, I mean, Lucian, I'm sorry to assume your relationships, and Rose, I'm sure you guys are both very close with him. If I were you two, I would be very worried. So,
I mean, listen, Kavanen, like you were correct in assuming, Kavanen is my best friend.
felt told
so
me as much. I mean, basically.
his safety is my number one concern, of course. So I mean, but who else is in there with?
And he starts Kovanen and you see him kind of like processing some kind of information. Oh man. Every time I try to think about, he starts rubbing his forehead. Oh, that's so strange.
I wouldn't stress about that too much right here.
I don't know who's in there. I don't know the detail. It's on the sheet.
Do you have the sheet with you?
No, the agent of the 12 has it. Come on over. I'll introduce you to him.
All right, sure.
That'd be my pleasure.
Rose, what is your title? Do you have one? I don't want to assume. Gatekeeper.
Just a gatekeeper, I guess.
Do you guys talk about that in public? I've never really known. I mean, before you and
Just
Grim. I mean, it turns out you guys have always been here, but okay.
let's just keep it to Summerborn for right now. We
Okay,
can deal with
gotcha. Yeah, I mean,
shifting titles when
Yeah, but I mean,
I
think
have
it's
a little bit more time to process it myself.
I got some accolades I can throw in for you guys, obviously. Okay, come on with me. And he walks back over, and at this point, you guys can see Kovanen walking back, and Voss is behind him. He leans in. He's still smoking a cigarette. He's like leaning up against one of the like pillars as you walk in. There's probably like 3 or 4 of them lining the driveway, and he kind of motions for them to walk over. So this is Rose. This is Lucian. Both of these two they're close with Kovanen. When he points to Block. You know, when the trial happened before, and all that stuff went down, with, you know, and Block nods, and the other guy's like, "What do you mean, you know?" We'll fill you in, but you know, these guys, they're on the up and up. We investigated them already to begin with. There was even a trial. Maybe not for this specifically, but I mean. Anyway,
quite a few trials, Captain Block.
Yeah. Block is nodding along. Anyway, this is Morrow, Agent Morrow, Diorian.
Well met, Agent Morrow.
Give me a charisma roll.
Which one of us?
Both of you.
Both of us?
Just straight charisma?
Yep.
Okay. That's a 16, sir.
I'll take the 11. Sad it's not a save.
He reaches over and he takes Lucian's hand and shakes his hand, and he goes to Rose's hand, and he kind of like pulls back a little bit, but then stops. You know, you can meet him a little beyond halfway if you want to, Rose.
I mean, if he doesn't want to shake my hand, she's not going to worry about it too much. Can I use insight to see why he didn't want to shake my hand?
Go ahead.
Like, 9. Yeah, no, she's not going to really
not
care.
great insight, but what you can tell is he kind of got caught off guard by Lucian. That's what you can tell.
Rose hides a smile as she bows, just letting her hair fall forward a little bit.
He reaches in and takes your hand to shake your hand. Okay, excellent. Is there something I need to know here other than that? More? So yeah, they live here. Never mind. I'll fill you in later. Looks over at Block. Block just kind of like shaking his head, looking the other direction.
So, I mean, I guess my next question is, do I need to report a robbery or something of some sort? Because it seems as though my, you know, the fact that I have no access to my magicycle, you know, that is some kind of issue, I would imagine.
So at that point, Kovanen is approaching. So Voss, Kovanen, you guys are approaching the fence. The walls, and the gate, and the magister-looking gentleman approaches.
I will. I'll walk up as only as far as Kovanen does. Kind of stand basically right by his side.
Good evening. Are you Kovanen? Kovanen Ardwest? Rogare? Kovanen looks back at Voss.
Give him a attempt at a reassuring shrug. I'll elbow a little bit.
Yes, I'm Kovanen Ardwest, Rogare. Is there something that I can do for you? All right. Glad we got that cleared up. I am here serving a warrant for arrest issued by the city of Fairhaven in cooperation with the Silver Flame and the 12. Two, any and all authorities and citizens of the Five Nations and those within the dominion of the Dragonmost houses. Subject, want to the arrest, the name of accused is Vea, last name unknown. Vea is an alias, as far as we can tell, and a Radna Wolf.
Wait, hold on. Radna. What?
Lucian.
Tell
Yes.
Zazie that those two are under arrest.
He
Lovely.
turns around. Just a moment, please. May I finish reading this, please? Charges, whereas the name of the accused, Vea and Radna Wolf, hereafter referred to as the accused, are suspected of the grievous crimes of murder against members of the esteemed Dragonmark houses and local nobility. Names are redacted, whose lives were unjustly taken with the jurisdiction of, within the jurisdiction of Fairhaven. We list the dates of the incidents. The accused are believed to be willingly and willful of malice, malfeasance, after throughout have taken the lives of. He lists off the number and names of the heirs of the Dragonhawk marked houses and nobility who are sacred and vital to the stability and prosperity of Corvair. The crimes have been caused undue suffering, fear, and unrest among the houses, the nobility, and the populace of Fairhaven, threatening the delicate balance of power and peace maintained among the Five Nations and beyond. Authorities involved: the City Watch, he points to Moore, the Silver Flame, he points to Block, and myself are serving this notice. Actions required. The bearer of this warrant is commanded to take into their custody the name of the accused, alive if possible, but not required, to face trial in the city of Fairhaven for the charges of murder and any associated crimes. All persons, regardless of station, are to be provided assistance as required by law. Do you have any questions?
I have one. How is Kovanen involved in this?
Kovanen is the owner of this house, and we are asking for consent to serve this warrant.
Which they will do with force if needed. I will obviously point out everyone so it's said out loud.
Rose, are you able to get in contact with oh God, Steve can't remember the
Lucian,
name.
is it Lucian? Please, just give me one moment.
The lawyer.
Let's.
Okay, before this moves forward, if nothing else, Can we at least serve this warrant? Kovanen, do you have any questions specifically? I don't think so. Is there anything specifically that I should know about this? He looks back at Voss.
First, don't panic. We've been arrested before.
A
big process.
I'm not trying to panic, but I really feel like this is a thing, and you were just telling me inside some information, and now I feel as though I'm kind of caught off guard. Are you saying that Veya and Radna are responsible for murders? There's been no murder since I've been here.
Yeah, I gotta say that took me off by surprise as well. So I'm caught off guard too. All right, I'm right there with you. It's your house. If you don't let them serve the warrant and arrest the two of them, they're going to do it by force later. I know a lawyer. You know, I'll leave it up to you how to proceed with him, but he's a pretty good lawyer.
Go ahead, Rose.
Going to refresh your memory here real quick, Kovanen. These were the murders that took place the winter of our freshman year.
He looks at you, Rose.
We had a bit of a busy year. She is looking at Kovanen, but she's also more specifically looking over his shoulder to Voss.
He's like holding his forehead.
But Voss would have been like slowly leaning into frame behind Kovanen, like
Kovanen
like,
actually
as
at
if-
this point is kind of like he has both of his hands on his knees, and he reaches up like one hand to grab his forehead, and he's like blinking, and his
wow.
eyes are watering, and he's like reaching over for Voss.
Kovanen.
Come on. Let's. We need to take a step. We need to take a step. Let's give you a minute. Let's give you a minute to breathe.
Yeah, let's give him a minute to breathe.
Is this
I'll,
is this is this some kind of act? What is going on here? Bring
I don't think that's an act, sir. Give him a moment.
listen. Turns around and looks at Rose. I am only trying to serve justice.
And you just overwhelmed Decade with a lot of information about some of his friends. If you had said the same thing to me about, let's say, Lucian and Zazie, okay, I might believe it about Lucian, but it would still be
Exactly.
one of those immediate reactions of, like, hold a second. It would
It
be a
is
little
very
overwhelming.
likely, if we are not able to take them in this moment, we are not here to detain Kovanen, or you, and he looks at Lucian, or even.
We know.
This time.
But when we leave here and we go to get assistance, I am more than aware, even if I have this place surrounded before I leave, that when we go inside, they will not be here. And from that point,
Listen.
you will all, or at least the very least Kovanen, be considered to be assisting known. I'm sorry, not known.
Criminal.
Not known.
Assumed criminals.
Assumed.
Aiding and abetting.
Aiding and abetting assumed criminals.
We are not stopping you from doing your job, sir.
We can
We're
make
just
this
asking you
very
to
swift and very simple. We can go in and be out like surgery.
And we're asking you to give him some time to process all of the information that you just dumped on him.
I'm just worried that this is some sort of act, so that he can buy
No.
time and
It's
maybe
not an act.
send a message or do some other arcane means to announce our presence.
Does he look like he's in any state to
don't know.
be casting a spell?
I don't make assumptions. I do not make assumptions. But as you said before, Rose,
Just-
you know this was happening. There were a number of them. One of them was, as far as my notes say, a member of House de Kundarak, that you were involved in the initial investigations.
I was. That's why I now have an interest in what's going on here. Telling you to give the kid some time.
So, Voss is speaking with Kovanen, trying to help him get his breath. He's clearly overwhelmed by things that Rose was saying that this Kovanen was not alive for, or had existed, and only has in his memory banks via genetics somehow. Anyway, Voss is like, okay, listen. We'll just have to let them in. They'll get arrested. It's trust me from personal experience. We'll just let it play out the way these things need to play out, and then a lawyer may be able to prove them innocent if they are innocent. I know you don't want this for your friends. This is scary.
So what am I supposed to do? Just wait out here? I cannot look them in the face while they're being arrested. I feel like I should
let me. I know you want to help them. You're on their side. You want to be on their side. Let me be the one who opens the gate. Let me make the announcement.
I feel like I should be taken in as well.
I don't feel that way. They in fact think you're in danger of them. You can attempt to volunteer to also be arrested. That's your prerogative, I guess. But I think you would be more helpful to them outside of that situation.
Roll persuasion with advantage.
30.
Whoa.
Dang.
He literally just like sits right down on his ass, right on the ground. He's like rubbing his forehead. Tears are running down his eyes a little bit.
Bullfrog. You guys heard that bullfrog? Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm like,
The
I know
magister, the agent of the 12 approaches him. Master Kovanen, he reaches down a hand. Kovanen takes it. He allows him to pull him back up to his feet. The three of us and yourself need to sign this document to make it legally binding. Please, can we move forward with this? And there's it says seal of the 12, seal of the search of the Silver Flame, and the seal of the city of Fairhaven. He passes it to Moore. Moore signs it. He passes it to Block. Block signs it. He signs it. And then Kovanen, it says, something like the owner of the home, or the seal of the, owner of the home. And Kovanen, does he have a ring or something that he uses, or would he sign it?
I don't recall ever using a ring.
Okay. So
or,
he just
or having like been bestowed once. I think it would have just been. Yeah. Of course, he would love to sign it because it's like a little paintbrush thing.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a little calligraphy symbol. Each of them just do a signature for the seal. The Magister prestidigitates it dry, rolls it up, nods to Block, nods to Moore, and then leaves.
He's not going to help you, sir. Okay.
Okay. Come on, if you want to wait out here, maybe with Rosen and Lucian, I can escort these two gentlemen inside. You can come in if you wish.
I'll stay with Rose and Lucian for now. I don't feel like I can look at them in the face with good faith. If I can't go in there with them and leave with them, and Lieutenant Moore walks up to him, he's like, "Hey man, kid, I like you. Those were some weird times. I feel like my mind has been wiped." It's crazy. He looks at Kovanen and he just shrugs. Anyway, I think you should take a walk.
We'll keep him safe.
Can you?
Mm-hmm.
we'll be done an hour tops. If you guys want to walk with him, take him somewhere, you know, give me an hour.
Can do.
He nods to Block. All right, are we gonna get this over with? I'm ready to be done with this.
Yeah. As I come on in. You'll be fine. I look back at Moore and Block, and as I start to walk towards the house, I'm like messaging Zazie. All right, like then we're moving in. Like the two of them are about to be arrested. I don't know, like stand in front of the other exit or something like that. Don't put yourself in danger, but there are other exits to the room and they're gonna flee or something. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
And then I sort of tell the same thing to Buck and Moore. I'm like, okay, it's a big room. They're in the music room. There's another door. Maybe they want to be cute about it and run out the back fucking door. I don't know.
Well, if you could, I'd really appreciate if you took me and you could just take Block to the back door. Blocks. Yeah, if you could, I would really appreciate just allowing us to kind of at least reduce 2 of the doors. I am sure the windows is something.
Yeah, of course. So DM Moore Block wanted to be taken around to one of the other doors as Moore goes around to the front.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll tell Moore, like, as you walk into the big door, the music room is immediately on the right, and I'll start walking around the right side of the building with Block. Trying to, head for the library entrance so we can be in the library.
Okay. I'm gonna pop them both at the front entrance. Look how big they are. Alright, so I'll follow you. Alright, so you're gonna walk around the outside of the grounds.
Yep. Go in to the library back door because the music room connects to the library.
Gotcha. Alright, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, so he'll be stationed like right here. Moore is going to knock on the front door. Boom, 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 boom.
Out of the library, through the dining room, into this one, and the foyer. I'll let him into the front door. Okay, blocks around the back.
Okay, thanks.
Damn it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in.
Pointing at the door, like, do you want to do it or me?
He walks in. All right, I am here this evening. I am Lieutenant Block from the City Watch. I'm here
Moore.
to serve. I'm sorry, Lieutenant Moore. I don't even know my own name. Lieutenant Moore, serving a warrant for the City Watch. I'm here to take into our custody a Vea and Radner Wolf. So I'm going to lean on you here real quick, Zazie. What would Vea do right now?
I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea. I can't think very well because this whole situation is massively pissing me off. I imagine she would also get pissed off.
There we go. Vea stands up. I'm sorry. Under what charges? Moore is kind of like flabbergasted. We need to question you and Radner about your whereabouts on certain days last year that coincide with a few murders that occurred within the city. Vez kind of just glaring at him. Radner stands up, pushes his chair in. Okay. Fine. I don't have anything to worry about. Vea, you weren't even here. You were in... Well, I don't know. I'm not sure where you were, but I don't even think I had met you yet at that point. She still looks pissed. Rad is kind of looking around the room. Hey guys, I'm sorry this all kind of messed up our evening, but I'm sure that this will all be cleared up tomorrow, probably pretty quickly. I'm sure. This gentleman here is just trying to do his job, obviously. I think we should just make his evening a little bit more easy on him. I'm assuming that we're not going to have any special accommodations. You know, you're just going to take us in and lock us up. And Moore's like looking around. Well, I mean, you'll be held at the, the watch. It's not exactly a 5-star resort, if that's what you're asking. Vea. Relax. You see Vea kind of begin to get way less relaxed at the masculine telling the female to relax situation.
Just calm down.
She's holding her glass in her hand, glass of wine, and just shatters it. Specks of blood like perk up from the shards of glass stuck in her fingers, and Moore is kind of like, what the fuck? And he takes a step closer to her, and he's like, Block! Block steps in through the door behind there, and Radner takes a step closer. Listen, that's not necessary. Vea, I'm sorry. Please.
I'll make myself visible in the doorway. I'm just there. Just there.
I promise. We'll get this cleared up quickly. You were not even around. She is literally just picking out, like, pieces of glass out of her hand, like looking at him casually, removing them, puts her hands on her hips, and then smiles. We'll see. It's a very awkward situation. Moore pulls a kit out of his back pocket, opens it up. There's some bandages in there and a couple of other things, with his handcuffs. Can you wrap this around your hand? It seems to be bleeding. And she literally just takes her hand and splashes the blood from her hand across his face.
God damn it, Vea. Not in the house.
You
Go
see
on the street if you want to act out.
a moment later, you see her like hand creep into her back pocket, and Moore drops to his knees. Like directly after that, you see Block run up behind her, like get her like in like a headlock and like pull her back away from the chair and like off of her feet, and she's just like, just goes dead weight. Moore is like on his knees, holding his chest, and I'm not sure if you remember, but like Moore is probably like 55. He's a detective. He's a little overweight. He smokes cigarettes. He probably drinks a little bit too much. It looks like he's having a fucking heart attack right now. And Vea's just like has her arms out. Radner's like, Vea, just stop. You're making it worse on yourself.
I'll attempt to tend to more, and like, hey, are you here? Are you here? Can you understand me? Are you good? What do you? Hello?
He's breathing heavily. He's like in a 3-point stance. Basically, his right arm is massaging his left shoulder, and Vea is literally just like watching him, smiling. And up to this point, she's been very nice. Everything about her has just been like very polite, and she just has that like polite, kind gaze on her face while she's looking at him. No malice.
I'll detect magic real quick that I can do for free.
Yeah. No resonance of magic really lingering. You've seen Zazie do things like this before, where
Next question: is it blood magic that Zazie can do by making people paralyzed?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Send a message to Zazie. It's not magic. It's blood.
I guess that would still be. Would that still show up on Detect Magic, Zazie?
Yes, because it's blood magic.
Yes.
It is still
Okay,
magic.
there we go. It shows up on the Blood Magic School of Magic. It's not really a school. It's just kind of like a blood magic thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll start. I forget what breaks that kind of thing. I don't know if Kovanen would have ever known. Voss Kovanen at least. But I'll start like dragging more out of her line of sight out the door. Because I know I have some spells that work on line of sight, that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, it's whether she releases him or it's because you created a gap. He stands up against a wall, breathing heavily. Whoa. Thanks. Wow. I'm gonna go back in there. And he kind of steps back around, wiping the blood off of his face. Looks at Vea. At this point, she's subdued. She's standing there. She's cuffed behind her back. Radner is walking over to Block. He puts his hands behind his head and stands towards Block. Block takes each of his hands and puts them behind his back and, shackles him. And then they process out of the house.
Gives Zazie a look, and I need to follow them out as they go, like in their little procession. Or even if as Rad is like being carried past.
Rad is super cooperative.
Just... I'm gonna thank him for his cooperation. Just like, thanks for making it easy, Rad.
He looks back at you. He's like, yeah, man, listen, this is just obviously some big misunderstanding. He looks back. He's like, listen, tell Kovanen there was just a couple of pranks that, that we pulled, and they didn't go over well. And I'm guessing, if I had to guess right now, we probably pissed off somebody in the higher ups, and they're just trying to make our life hard. Listen, if you have anybody that you could refer to us to kind of help us through this difficult situation, I know that you guys have had some legal problems in the past. It's no secret.
It isn't.
You could
I've
send
been in
them.
your position. We'll see. I'll ask around. Yeah,
absolutely. Thank you, Voss. It was a pleasure meeting you briefly. Have a good night.
You too as well, if you can. Make sure she doesn't hurt anyone.
She just gives you a very wide grin, and then follows Radner up the road.
I roll my eyes. I'm like, oh, you're gonna use blood. I know what the blood is. Well, you don't know that I know what the blood magic is. Whatever, chick. Not that he would actually have a better chance of resisting it just because he's seen it before, but... sigh heavily, go back inside.
Yeah, well, I mean, at that point, you're kind of walking by Rose and Lucian.
Didn't they go on a walk with Kovanen?
Yeah, they
that's-
went on a walk.
That's true. That was not an hour. That was like 5 minutes. Okay.
Rose is going to suggest a route that takes them out of line of sight of the mounts, if at all possible.
Smart.
And she's going to keep herself between Kovanen and the mounts, just kind of protectively.
Okay. All right. Well,
She's
let's
got her
wrap,
shield on her arm at the very least.
let's wrap up things at the Mans real quick. The music has kind of stopped. Aaron, the three in the room that are left with you are kind of speechless. Where are you at right now? What are you doing?
Fuck this. Fuck this whole night. This has been horrible. I am going to bed.
Aaron is, or you are?
Aaron.
Hmm.
I had to deal with Lucian. I had to deal with I had to deal with Lucian. I had to do fucking serving stuff. I had to deal with this.
and
Fuck no.
and Vea
No
shows
more.
up out of
They
nowhere.
had two. I'm going to bed. I am leaving. The day is over. Too much has happened. I'm gone.
You just walk by a table, just push the wine glass off onto the floor, it breaks. You wouldn't do that because you're not gonna fuck up your own house.
No.
But I just imagine you giving them all the double middle finger as you. Sorry. Yeah. So they just basically stand up and leave at this point. Drunk.
Voss would have been, making his way back in around that time, and just like, sorry everyone, didn't know that was gonna happen.
Hey, do you think we can do anything to help?
They, considering your close relation to those two, you will likely be called upon as a witness. That's probably your opportunity.
And we weren't even doing anything. We're just fucking around.
So I've heard. But, well, there are some nobles in the city. Sometimes nobles don't take too kindly to that kind of thing. What is a prank to one person is rampant maliciousness and disrupting the natural order of things to another.
Yeah, I mean, the two ladies just walk on ahead. And the big guy's kind of hanging out with you for a second. I think there's something else going on here. I've always felt that way.
There always is, man. You don't know the first of it. Have a good night. I go inside.
He watches you walk in, just kind of like dumbfounded.
Well,
And-
he's probably right. That's why. He's a conspiracy nut, but he's fucking right.
All right. Rose and Lucian. You take Kovanen on a walk. It's been about 50 minutes at this point. You've made your loop back around through town.
I mean, 50 minutes wouldn't get us terribly far.
50.
I
said.
don't think. Yeah, 50.
If you're going on an
The city
hour,
is huge. It takes us.
yeah, but I'm saying, okay, I guess you're saying what I meant was, yeah, terribly far. Yeah, Fairhaven's pretty big. What is it, like a mile across?
I thought it was like 2 miles. It takes us on foot a fair amount of time.
Right. I mean, you're walking through tight
To
city
walk it.
blocks and all that shit. Let me look at the map. I think it has a thing on here. Nope.
You keep moving the map.
I'm looking for a the miles.
scale?
Exactly, a scale for it. Anyway, that's not it. All right. So it's been about 50 minutes. You guys are probably almost back at the Mons. You know, you made a lap around probably the school campus or something like that. You know, you went down the backside, wrapped back around wherever you would have went. But Kovanen seems to be a bit distraught. He hasn't talked a lot, and the things he has said have seemed a bit disjointed. And he hasn't had another fit where he is, dissociating. But you can definitely tell that whatever happened there is,
Well, then she wouldn't have made a lap with him. She'd have gone to like one of the fountain galleries or something.
okay, and kind of sat
had him
down.
sit.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot more sense, actually.
Like someplace that Rose herself kind of finds calming.
So about,
But
most of the way back, you guys can see the tops of the Mons. You're approaching. Do you think that they actually could have done something like that? Is it possible? I don't know. I think I always wonder, because I remember hearing about things that had happened before, and with the artist mind, they were getting in trouble a lot, and
regarding Radnor, I'm not sure. I never really had more than maybe 2 or 3 interactions with him before we left, or before he left even. I'm not sure about Vea. I don't know her. But there's a lot
So
that
there's so many things. And he looks at Lucian, and he looks at Rose. So I have these recollections, so many things from before, and they are distant, and I can't remember anything. And it's getting worse. And as soon as you guys arrived, or as soon as Voss arrived, or maybe even before then, I just can't think.
I wouldn't know how to describe that for you. Honestly, I think you might want to talk to Voss.
it's definitely
He nods his head, and he's walking back ahead of you guys to the Mons. It's like walking with intensity and purpose.
don't think he'd be able to outpace Rose.
Probably
unless
not,
he
considering
has-
she's so much taller than him.
Yeah.
But like the two of you actually have to walk at like at full gait to keep up with his like speed walking.
I definitely would talk to Voss. about what you're feeling.
I
Maybe
I feel deep down that Voss might understand where you're coming from. He might
I
be
mean,
the best person to talk to.
he's just always been like a father to me, as far as I can remember. But I feel like more and more recently, the more when I go to think back on what happened before, I'm just drawing a blank. And there's so many things that, you know, imagine your entire life and all of the memories that you have. Think about how many things that you don't think about, but you know that you know them, right?
Right.
Right? So, but there are so many things that I just assume that I'm taking for granted. I have these feelings, I have this knowledge, I have this, all of these things that are part of what makes me who I am. And when I actually try to recall them, nothing. It's like a clean slate when I really start digging into it, and it's just so disconcerting. I don't know. But if you think Voss can help, and the lady, I feel like the only time anymore that when I really feel like myself is when I'm painting.
I'd like to see some of your paintings eventually.
My mother felt the same way for a long time. She was a painter
That's right.
herself, and a wonderful artist, if I do say so myself, and not just because she's my mother,
No, I know. I just.
but
And even that, Lucian, I feel like you told me that before, but I cannot remember having this conversation.
it's it's just one of those things, I guess. But again, I think you should talk to to Voss.
I will. Do you think that we could find someone to help Veya and Radnar?
I have a couple
I'm
of
sure
people in
we
mind.
can talk to someone. I will say this: Radner was such a loser when I first met him. He was such an easy target. Clearly,
You think I was an easy target? That you think everybody's an easy target? What am I saying?
I'm just saying, Radner, he thought the name Rad would be cool.
I remember you told me that. You told me. I do remember that. Listen,
I will say this.
Can we just stop? I just want to get back.
Yeah.
I just want to get back
Yeah,
and go to
yeah.
sleep tonight, and I'll talk to Voss in the morning. I'm just, my head just
I
hurts
think
so
I think
bad.
talking to Voss, Kavanen,
Yes.
I think talking to Voss sooner than later should be your number one priority.
I don't think I can do it tonight.
You look
I
like you're a little
understand
worn.
where you're coming from, but if you're such odds,
Roll persuasion.
you got it. Oh, hello. Persuasion. 9.
I don't know. Maybe I'll see. I don't know. I feel like you almost connected there, but it just didn't. It didn't happen.
I understand. I understand. Sometimes.
Listen, I'm gonna go back.
Sometimes,
You please
I'm
come
gonna
with
walk
me.
you back.
Please come with me.
No, of course. Hey,
Yeah, I'm not gonna leave you.
as we walk you back, is there any way that you would be able to open the garage for me?
Just get Voss to do it. He has all the keys. He lives above there. He literally has to walk in that entrance to go to his rooms.
That being said, speaking of rooms, if Voss thinks it might help, maybe try taking a break from the manse itself. I'm gonna be heading back to the Chalice Center after I leave here. Got some
When I know
family to meet back
when
up
I
with.
know Vey is safe, I'll be much more comfortable.
Listen, if
I have a
if
question.
what the captain and lieutenant said are true, you might want to kind of remove yourself from their influence for a little.
Lucian, with all due respect, you don't know her like I do.
How well do you know her?
I know her
Lucian,
quite.
I'm gonna ask you to shut up for 5 seconds.
I know her well. Listen, Rose, Lucian, I'm done for the evening. Walk me back.
Yeah, that's
Lucian,
what we're doing.
come inside, get Voss, get your magicycle. I'm going to bed. And I really appreciate you taking me out onto your wing to go for a walk. As many times before, I appreciate you all. If you could tell Voss for me that I'd like to see him in the morning. Maybe we can go for a walk or something around the docks. And we can start to find the shape of this thing. But for now, it's bedtime for me. I'm making my leave.
So
Alright.
Lucian still doesn't understand what can do.
What can do?
Because message.
Oh.
Because because Rangers, because also Rangers.
Don't
Message.
get message.
So he's like screaming towards Rose. They have the same memories.
Probably at the same time that you're screaming at her, she's just gonna calmly message you in this. It's just so weird that he remembers us but doesn't. Ugh, don't
So
like
when
it.
when you do it, all you hear is memories. Memories.
All right, so you guys walk up to the main entrance, and Kovanen nods at you guys as he walks in and kind of shuffles up the steps and makes his way back to his room.
I before he goes in, I like smack him on the butt. Be like, "You'll be all right." You know,
Really,
like a
Lucian?
good
His-
good game type of thing.
His initial reaction is he laughs and he's like, then he like kind of does the like straight back thing. What
Mhm.
is and just okay, night, Lucian.
God,
Very weird.
romance is strong between you two.
It's so strange. Rose, pleasure.
Yes. Sorry.
Night.
Good night.
Night.
Please sleep well. Try not to think too much.
Walks inside. All right. So at this
As soon
point,
as the door closes, and like Lucian and Rose are alone, that's definitely not our Kovanen. Because Kovanen would have probably laughed when I smacked him in the ass.
I mean,
And
where's this
said
easygoing
something
nature?
flirtatious, let's be honest.
Yeah, the moment the door is closed and Kovanen is out of sight and hopefully out of earshot, Rose does kind of deflate a little bit. It's weird.
I don't know if
He
you
needs to
heard
know
me.
the truth.
I don't know if you heard me,
The
because
memories?
sometimes you talk in my mind. But yes, they share the same memory.
so we'll come back to that, Lucian. But go, can continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a little. Sounds a little more complicated than that. But. This house business. I mean, I told you about my vision back in the, back in Zendrick, right?
Right.
That first night.
Hmm.
Think they're connected?
You'll have to remind. You said.
The Guardians, whatever the frick they were. The houses.
Right, right, of course.
And then last winter's disappearances and murders, past heirs. At the time, like helping Block and more, thought it was just, any high-ranking noble to Dare and Fairhaven. Those names, those were all house heirs.
Right.
How many names were listed? Just the number.
I mean, it's like approximately 6.
It's at least half the houses.
So,
I mean, we don't exactly grow on trees.
so we were we were looking at these murders for a brief second before leaving, and we couldn't help but notice that, of course, the house heirs were being murdered. We also didn't do any other type of looking around.
We had other
about
things
that.
to worry.
We did. But do you think that those are connected to the murders that these people were accused of as well?
I mean, those are the murders listed in the... Those were the murders listed in the warrant, unless I was hearing things wrong.
Right.
So, I think for right now, Kavanen is safely tucked in bed. Voss is watching over him.
I mean,
He's
and
probably
Voss-
lurking around a corner listening to us.
Right, right. I would hope so. I mean, it's kind of hard to pretend that the other Kovanen, my quote-unquote best friend,
You need to tell him the truth. The sooner the better. Might be the best way to help Ragnar, and if Vea is innocent, Vea. I have my doubts, but that's just getting a weird feeling.
I completely think that that Rad is 100% guilty. He is in fact a criminal. I believe that.
I mean, guilty is something, but I don't know if he's not slick enough for murder.
I guess. He's just such a loser. I mean,
He's a pushover and an easy fall guy.
yeah, I guess. These other people that he's with, I'm sure, listen, all right. I am willing to admit that his... Rose, have you ever met Radna? Wolf. I really would rather he call himself. Anyway, go ahead. Have you ever met him?
I had like maybe one or two interactions that was like a wave and a nod across the hall back when the 2 times I ever slept in the dorms.
Right.
But I know Yulia ran into him and scared the crap out of her a couple of times.
Right. Well, it's not too hard to scare Yulia. But the reason
She
I
is a
ask,
bit of a were-chihuahua.
okay, is Radna is, because of his status, he is easily, I would imagine, manipulated, right? He wants to feel wanted. He wants to feel part of the quote unquote cool crowd, right? So I would imagine
That wouldn't have been me.
What was that?
That wouldn't have been me.
Right. So
Don't ask me how I got involved.
I don't know. You just fell in with a.
That's useful.
But the unfortunate thing is that he wants to feel a part of something so bad that I would imagine that he would.
A sweet
Do-
word, a rockin' pair of tits, and bright hair could turn him astray.
Yes, yes, and let's be honest. All right, he is easily, like, a person like that is easily, especially if he is being, for lack of a better term, manipulated by someone who is attractive. Someone like Radner, if he has the chance to be enticed by an attractive woman or man, then to be in his best interest to do exactly what they would want. Radner could possibly be guilty of murder, but I mean, could it possibly be because of enticement from the others, pushing him to do it? Their hands aren't dirty, or I mean, and then you have Kovanen, who really hasn't had guidance. Putting these people up in our months. It's
Theoretically, it's still his. It's tied to his protection,
right.
if I
Right.
remember correctly.
I don't know. There's a lot going on here, and we need to figure this out for ourselves, and for the sake of baby Kovanen and our Kovanen and Zozzy. They are in there.
Us especially.
Yes.
So
I can't even
that's
imagine
next
what
back.
I can't even imagine
Why
what
would they
Zozzy
even-
is going through, being so close to Vare. That is her best friend. After all.
You said she was here. That is an actual question from player. I can't remember if Lucian told Rose that she was in the manse somewhere.
Who's
Her
that?
name was
Zazie?
mentioned in the no Vea. Her name was mentioned in the what you call it? In
No,
the
Zazie was
the
in the
wanted
manse.
the wanted list. Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah, you told her that you told Rose that she looked like somebody else.
Yeah.
Okay.
But listen, guys, while I'm on here, let's put a pin in it right here. Lucian is having a conversation where he thinks that Rad is the fall guy, and that he's being influenced by he's getting honey potted. So
Right. Honey dick.
we'll honey dick. All right. Yep. We'll call it there. And thank you everybody on the